Welcome to VisualLogistics from VisualMetrics. This is the latest version of our Visual Logistics Performance Management application, a templated application which can be deployed quickly and easily to any logistics operation that may require it. It uses the latest version of IBM Cognos Analytics, and this demo really is to show off the content of the logistics analytics, but also the feature function of that latest Cognos Analytics, which I'm sure you'll see in a second is quite impressive. Typically, logistics performance management is broken out into two key areas: warehouse performance management, sometimes known as WMS, and transportation performance management, known as TMS. That transportation performance management measures is what we're going to be looking at today, just that area of the logistics organization. It is a templated application that can be quickly deployed, as I said, but it's extremely customizable, and we usually always align any requirements using our drive methodology to the client. So you may find there's elements in here that you would use or wouldn't use, or there's elements missing that you may require. But what is important that we will always tailor any logistics offering to the needs and requirements and achievability of the organization. Okay, so let's focus now on this demonstration. There are three areas within transport performance management which we're going to focus on within this dashboard demonstration. There is revenue, that is order revenue, the total volume and value of orders being placed through the logistics organisation, and clearly very high level importance turnover focus for the organisation. Then there is OTIF, which stands for on time in full, which is the service management, performance management, which is very simply making sure that all of those deliveries are delivered on time and in full. And finally, we have those efficiency metrics, which is utilization. So making sure that the organisation of those deliveries are planned and managed in such a way to make sure that the logistics organisation is running as efficiently as possible and turning that order revenue into profit and minimising costs wherever possible. So let's focus first on this revenue area, which is on the screen, which you can look at now. On the face of it, this is a very, very simple scorecard of visual logistics revenue information. We have the total order revenue shown here, nice and simply, over the last 6 months. The data in here is dummy data, and we're just showing a snapshot of 6 months worth of information from a typical dummy logistics organisation. And we see that we've had over that time 10,000 or so orders. We can also then, on this great bubble chart, see how those orders have been placed through the various carriers that the organisation use. And we can see the large focused carriers and the smaller ones, and bubble charts are great for that. We can also see on this word map the warehouses, which quickly shows the range of warehouses that we're using to deliver from and into, and also it displays the actual volume via the scale of the text within that word chart. Then we have the all-important time and the trend over time, which basically shows you the order revenue, so the actual revenue being put through the organisation over the last 6 months. And you can also see the number of orders actually going through. So quite often there's a correlation between order volume and value, but not always. And finally over here, again towards that utilization side of things, is looking at different vehicle and transportation types. Here we have just the usual trailer, lorry, but we can also bring in shipping information, rail information, and indeed air information, so we can start analysing which provides us the greatest utilization. Here we're just looking at the value of orders that are put through the various vehicle types for this relatively simple, straightforward logistics operation. So now we'll just jump into looking a little bit about the feature function of that IBM Cognos Analytics, because so far great information, but not very interactive. There is no drop down, so we can filter just say on a particular carrier, or we can't just look for a particular warehouse, etc. So if the client had a question saying, I'd like to know how much of our order revenue is put through Dodal in Birmingham, probably they would have to go and create another report for that, and then we'd see more and more reports. Later offerings in analytics usually provide filters within the dashboard. Really what Cognos Analytics does is take it to the next level, and it's totally designed to be cross-platform functional. So I'm using it today on a usual laptop, but this exact dashboard can be deployed on any touch device, and it's designed to be completely touch interactive. So there's that question again. We want to know exactly how much revenue has been put through Dodal in Birmingham. Very simply, all we do is, first of all, we just click on Birmingham, and you'll see in the background, all of a sudden, the whole of the dashboard and the cockpit has adjusted to show us exactly what's happening in Birmingham. So we can see that we have 4.4 million order revenue put through Birmingham and 1,538 orders, and we'd like to know just exactly out of that what was with Dodal, and we can just click on Dodal. So now we have filtered both on Birmingham and on Dodal, and we can see that just over 1 million has been put through Dodal at 393 orders, and the whole of the charts all adjust seamlessly to align to what the user wants to look at just by clicking. To go back to that high level again, very simply just click away from into a clear area of the filters, and we go back to that top line level. So we can see over here that we've been there's a real dip in orders in month 6. This could be June, or it could be financial period 6. And again, the client might want to know, well, what's going on in period 6? So again, just I can click anywhere on a period 6, and the whole of the application adjusts, and we can see 3 million's gone through period 6, and we can then start looking exactly what's happening in period 6 with regards to utilization across vehicles against revenue and different warehouses that we're using. So that really gives you an idea of the power of the Cognos Analytics, and it's great for us to deploy in as well, because once we've developed these completely interactive widgets, if you like, into the cockpit, an awful lot of functionality is then passed to self-serve to the consumer, and hopefully once deployed, the consumer can derive their own insight from the information quickly and easily. Okay, so let's take you across now to look at OTIF, that on time in full, which is the all key performance metrics required by the transport area of a logistics organisation. We'll have a look at the coverage of the metrics that are in the application, and also look a little bit more at what Cognos Analytics can do. Okay, so here we are at the OTIF element of the dashboard, looking at the on time in full service level performance management metrics for the logistics organisation. This, for demo purposes, is primarily just showing some metrics around the on-time elements. We'd usually have a separate tab for the percentage fulfilment of items missed deliveries and not contained in deliveries, the in full element. On the left hand side here in the light blue, we have the information around collected late information, so the carrier, which are the worst offenders, if you like, and also those warehouses which have got the highest number of problems. Similarly, on the right hand side, the delivered late, so delivered on time averages. So basically we show those carriers that are doing particularly well on time, and those warehouses that do well and the ones that are doing less so. Across the bottom here, we have that trend chart again showing the two key SLAs and how they're performing over the last 6 months. And again, I can show you that functionality, so we can quickly look at a particularly poorly performing late collection warehouse, Liverpool, and we can then quickly see which carrier in Liverpool is of chief concern to us, and we can take some action about that. And again, because it's completely touch and interactive, once we select one area, the whole of the dashboard adjusts to give us that insight on what the users wants to focus on, and clicking away sends it all back so we can look at the high level figures. So again, same sort of information and functionality as I showed you with revenue. Let me just show you a little bit more of the functionality that we empower the user with Cognos Analytics. Not only can the user now select and can actually select and filter and control and drill and do the analytics that they want to do. They also have complete control of the visualizations, how they want to view the data to give them leverage them the greatest insight. So what you can see here at the side, popping up here is we have a bubble chart here, which is, we feel, a common great way of showing really which areas, which carriers we need to focus on. But the user can quickly jump in and can change that to another element that they may wish. So there we have, if we click automatic, it adjusts to what it thinks would be useful, or it can adjust it to a line chart. And again, it gives us complete interactivity once we've selected that. So again, as a point on our line chart, the whole of the widget stays interactive for them. Okay, we can also do that on any of the other charts around. So we'll select this chart here at the line chart at the bottom, and we've got 2 data points here. So hopefully if we do a bar chart column, so we can see very quickly side by side or stacked, if we chose to, exactly the collected late and delivered time on average. So really what I'm showing you here is a few of the transport management systems SLA on time metrics being shown. There are an awful lot more that we can bring in, but also the functionality of those Cognos Analytics to really enhance and customize the experience for each user, so they feel in control about how their information is laid out and used. Okay, I'll take you over now finally to the Utilization tab, which is all about the efficiency of this logistics transport element performance. And we'll have a look at a little bit more information about granular and that drill down functionality I've been talking about, which is provided in Cognos Analytics. So on this Utilization tab, we can have a look at the efficiency of the loading and of the various utilization carriers and also the warehouses. So what utilization is showing you is the number of vehicles that leave full and to their maximum load, and the number of warehouses that are dispatching vehicles which are full and their maximum load. This is important because high utilization minimizes wasted trips and reduces cost. It also reduces the number of ton miles, a big element of cost, and also the green metrics that an awful lot of organisations use, the metric ton per CO2 average. At the moment, again, we're just looking at different vehicle types, understanding how the utilisation is affected by the different vehicle types. This can also be motor transport, as originally said, shipping, etc. And there's some huge variances we can see, especially when we're looking at container loadings, etc. for various logistics organisations. Again, just show you some extra functionality now. We can, as I've shown you before, we can quickly filter on various areas of where we want to focus, and we're getting used to that now with the functionality, the seamless touch functionality of Cognos Analytics. Other bits and pieces and control that we give to the clients as well. We can also do is we can look at these high level figures, and at the moment they're showing averages, but the user can quickly switch that to show maximum figures and minimum figures as well. So all of the information, again, completely customizable by the end user, which removes any bottleneck of any report developers requirements, etc. Once the widget is built and developed, it's really for the user then to customize the experience to their own needs. I'm just going to show you now one of the final tricks up the sleeve of Cognos Analytics, which I think really sets it aside from other analytics applications, and that's the ability to jump down to granular detail. And we see an awful lot that consumers really enjoy the high level visualizations, and they can drive insight very quickly from them. But quite often when that insight is narrowed down an area to look at a focus of something, they want to be able to then to look at the granular detail, to look at those individual orders and understand exactly what's going on. So, what we could do here is we can select a carrier with a relatively low utilization, and then we can look at at the moment it's showing all, but we can look at a depot with poor utilization also for that warehouse. So we really zeroed in on poor performance and utilization there. And what we can do then is on this is to jump to the detail. So we just click the little box at the bottom. And what that is now doing is bringing up the granular line by line, as you would see in a spreadsheet, the detail of exactly what's going on. And we can zoom up and down in there. We can do the usual. We can filter. We can sort by the number of miles driven, the ton miles, etc. We can do all of the usual things that a user would be expected to do in Excel. You can also extract this into Excel so that the consumer then can do them further more detailed what-if analytics if they wanted to do that. But again, what it really does is within one package give that complete range of high-level identification of issues and focus, and let the consumer go right the way through that analytics process of identifying where the problems lie, zero in into particular months, periods, warehouses, carriers, and then get out the exact detail to understand what's going on to take action. So I hope you've enjoyed that overview of the Visual Logistics Dashboard using IBM Cognos Analytics. I'm sure you agree it's great functionality, and thanks for watching.